Welcome to the Cashflow Project Podcast. Are you looking to better your financial situation by increasing your cash flow? Too busy to hunt for real estate deals or don't know where to start? Then you're in the right spot. Join us as we dive in and talk about investing for cash flow using multifamily real estate.
Welcome to the Cashflow Project Podcast. Excited for another episode. This week, we've got Chris Prefontaine on the show. So Chris is the founder and chairman of Smart Real Estate Coach and the Wicked Smart Community. He's got over 31 years of experience. He's a 4-time best-selling author and a 3-time Inc. 5000 honoree. He's completed over $100 million in transactions using creative financing strategies that require no bank loans, no personal credit, none of your own cash. Today, he leads a family-run business that mentors investors nationwide on how to build a recession-proof wealth through his trademarked 3 Paydays system. Hey, Chris, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. Thanks for having me, buddy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Glad that you're taking some time out of your day and to hop on with me and the listeners. But you got quite a background there. But for those of our listeners that may not be familiar with you, can you give us a little bit of your story? Hey, how did you get into the business? How did you get into investing? You've obviously done a ton, had a ton of success. So I would love to hear a little bit of your background and see how you got started in the business.
Sure. I won't bring them through 35 years. I will put them in split. But this year will be my 35th year in the fall. So I'll fast forward you through there to get to why we landed here. Did a ton of stuff. Did a brokerage, did some building back in the 90s, sold my brokerage to Coldwell Banker. Started doing my own investments running up to the 2008 crash. And that was literally 2008 to 12 was the impetus to put me where I am today, meaning we got annihilated financially, mentally, deal-wise. It was pretty ugly too. So many people, I'm sure listening, can relate to that if they're not on the younger side. But what happened, you couldn't have convinced me that was a good thing then, but what happened was because of that, we set up new rules. Okay, if we're going to get back in the game, what are we going to do? Things like, let's not ever sign on bank debt. Let's not do deals that are transactional. I got a lot of friends that do very well with wholesaling and fix and flip, and I've had those relationships for decades. But the fact is, that is another transactional job until you build a massive team. So we just said, let's not do that anymore. And that's where the 3 Paydays, we trademarked that federally. That's where that came from. It's why do that when you can create cash now, cash monthly, and cash long-term? So we set all that up. We started doing deals ourselves. And I say we, it was me, then it was myself and my son, then myself and my son and my daughter and my son-in-law. And now we've got, 20-something employees all around the country since COVID because you can be anywhere. Then there was demand for, okay, teach me what you're doing. And it started here locally and then it expanded. We're now in 82 markets, roughly speaking, doing deals. So we don't just, Steve, there's so many companies in our space selling stuff like the internet. If you're on social media, you are bombarded by get rich quick schemes. And so we have a different model. We do deals with students. We make sure that we're there the entire deal. We rev share with them. We have a vested interest in it for that reason. And so that's a little bit different model. We really care about getting deals done. So that's where we are today. Fast forward, that's what we have when you said the Wicked Smart Community. Just people doing deals in the trenches, real live every day.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And Chris is based on the East Coast. Obviously, being based in Hawaii, we don't typically hear that, but Wicked Smart with the right accent is the perfect fit. So
I gotta send you some shirts for sure.
No, I love that. I love that. No, I love talking to people who've spent some time in the market. I was a wholesaler before GFCs. You guys went through it too. So it's like, okay, I feel like people have the tendency to think, all right, hey, whatever's happening in today's market is exactly, and it's always like that. It's going to be, hey, the sky's falling. We talked a little bit off camera and it's okay. If you're listening to whatever, either social media or the mainstream news, any of that kind of stuff, hey, everything is just collapsing. It's falling down and it's, wait a minute, there's solutions for this kind of stuff. And it sounds like you guys did that. You licked your chops, say, okay, lick your wounds. Hey, okay, we're going to pivot. That didn't work. We're not doing that again. Hey, we're gonna adopt some new strategies. Going to work with some new strategies. And this is the beauty of real estate too. It's okay. Hey, we've got 101 different ways to make money in real estate, and sometimes you can combine strategies. This strategy is in vogue at this time with these market conditions. So I love that, and I love that you're doing the community where it's like, okay, I'm not just teaching you. I'm not just the talking head. Hey, pay me the money, and I'm gonna take off and run. It's like, no, you're doing deals with the students, and honestly, I feel like a lot of times, especially for the listeners and for the people that are just tuning in, I get it where you get to, it's never been easier to get the tons of education. You're watching Chris and I right now. You're listening to us, you're watching us, but it's one thing to take it from head knowledge to actually applying it. And I feel like that's where most people get stuck. I love that you're working with them. Tell us a little bit more about what kind of, you guys got a ton of exposure now, 82 different markets. Incredible.
Yeah.
Have you seen a transition, let's say market wise, in terms of maybe where deals are happening, or because that's a common misconception too. It's like I can't do deals here.
Yeah, they all say it when they first meet me. They'll say, "How do you convince people to do that?" Because we very rarely do. It's no money or little money down when we do them. So, okay, so a couple of things you said that were cool connects. One is, how do we buy? Owner financing, preferably from free and clear owners. That number, since I got back in the game and started my coaching business for the last decade plus, that number in the United States has gone from 33% to 40%. 40% in the United States, the homes are free and clear. That's pretty cool, of actual single families.
Awesome.
Secondly, what's going on now, people think, okay, because the rates, I don't think they're high relative to what I've seen over the last 3 decades, but okay, let's just say they're higher than most are used to right now. So that's making money, that and the underwriting is making money hard to get. So with the misperceptions, a lot of misperceptions there. One is, did the buyers go away? No, the buyers didn't go away. They just made it hard for them to get money. So we're helping them through the creative route. That means sellers who thought they couldn't sell can sell. They don't want to lower their price, many of them. They want to sell for full price. What's the solution? Creative, no matter how you think of it. So back to the 3 ways. Owner financing, subject to existing loans, where we buy the property, it stays in their name as a guarantor, but we own the property. And third is lease purchase. The third, you don't own it, you control it. Super lucrative though. You type a property for literally a $10 pre-written deposit in our agreements. 3 paydays are worth $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 per deal over time. So those are 3 ways you buy. Okay, so now look at the market. The banks are pushing people to our side of the court with creative. Whereas when I first started teaching this, let's say 2014, 12 years ago, I don't know, the people knew about it, sure. It's been around since before banking, but not as prevalent as it is now. I've never seen the demand I've seen right now after 34 and a half years, never. So it's a cool time for people that are in creative. And to your point, it's a little bit about pivoting. So say during COVID, people panicked and buyers and sellers like, I don't know what to do, until the market got hot. But at first they panicked. We had some of our highest property months that went under contract there because I screamed, double down. This is the time to get properties. So we're in kind of a time like that now, meaning uncertainty. People just are not sure what to do. Great for creative if you know how to pivot. So you're not stopping doing deals. You're not timing the market. You're not timing it geographically or otherwise. All you're doing is learning how to pivot inside of the creative umbrella to do deals constantly. Up, down market, sideways market, doesn't matter. So I don't know if I nailed your question there, but just as a listener, know that this is a phenomenal time to be in creative. The best.
Yeah. No, it's a great encouragement. To your point earlier too. Yeah. When I first started in the business, creative I was familiar with it, but there was nowhere near the amount of people that were doing it, or, it wasn't on people's radar. And like the banks kind of forced that. They've been a lot more conservative in their underwriting. Now we see it all the time. Like we do commercial and residential. So it's like, okay, much more prevalent in commercial. To the residential side, there's all kinds of opportunity there. You're bringing a solution, which is amazing. And a lot of people, they just don't even realize that. It's not on their radar. They're used to up and down regular transactions. Also, I appreciate that you, having had a brokerage, working kind of more the retail side too. You understand that side of the business. For all of our agents that may be listening in, learn investing. You're listening to the podcast. My assumption is you're wanting to learn more about it. I'm always amazed at how many people work in real estate, the vast majority of as agents, let's say, that have no experience working on the investment side, like learning terminology to work with investors, learning how to invest their money. It's like, man, you can get some, like here in Hawaii, California, different markets, you can make awesome money as a retail agent. Like selling just single family homes. Take that money and have it work for you. Go do PML, do creative deals. You have direct access to the deal source, but most people just overlook that.
Yeah. Also, you mentioned agents, Steve, if I can jump on that, because I was an agent from, let's call it 95 till about 2008 till the crash hit. I really don't know why I didn't, like you. I knew it was out there, but I didn't embrace it. Yeah. But how many deals did I turn away? Think about this. As an agent back in the 90s, I was selling 100 homes a year. I was like a listing agent. That I couldn't sell every one of them. Nobody's that good. Just luck of the draw, price, market, condition, functionality. So I'd sell 72% of them. That was my stat. Okay, what about the other 18% then? What did I do with the deal? They were wasted. 20 whatever percent. They were wasted. So if I knew how to do them creatively, I'm not saying I could have captured them all, but I could have helped that seller by buying it in one of my creative ways. So there's this, I'll call it a hidden profit center. If you're an agent listening to this and you don't know how to pivot within our world, learn how to do it. Don't refer to someone, learn how to do it yourself, because you'll make gobs more. And it's a little bit different income. Every January when I was an agent, I'd bum out. I'd be like, oh man, I got to do all that again. And as a wholesaler flip, it's the same thing. I got to recreate all those deals again. Not with our system. You put a deal in place, you get a check today, you get a check monthly, and you get a check 2, 3, 4, 5 years out. That's pretty cool once you start parlaying those.
No, 100%. I love that strategy too. I like that because you mentioned it earlier, like retail transactions. So let's say it's an agent or fix and flip or you're wholesaling. It's all, again, you eat what you kill. So it's like it stops delivering the second you close. And that's hard. This is because it's like feast or famine. This is a way to really smooth out your cash flow, like what you're talking about. And I worked the opposite side of you, and I'm sure you've seen that now too. That's why you've been successful doing it. I started as a wholesaler. So there was plenty of people that I couldn't help. It's like, okay, you have these conversations. Hey, I'm going through a divorce. I'm behind on my payments. But hey, guess what? You don't meet my buy box for what I need to do as a wholesaler. And at that point, I didn't have any other options for them. And so it's like, okay, hey, sucks that you're going through that. Sorry about that, but I can't help you. And it's like, no, you should walk into every situation. You don't need to talk to anybody further. I've got the biggest bag of tools here. I can help you with whatever you need and make it a win-win-win across the board. So this is the power of having education and having access to deal sourcing and whatnot. So I appreciate your creative side and having a bigger picture, guys. So if you're listening, and maybe, like I said, you're working specifically on the retail side of things, or you're working specifically on the investor side of things, but you only have a couple of tools. Expand what that takes, your knowledge base, in order to bring more solutions to the marketplace.
Yeah, so give you a quick example, Steve, of that one. Rehabber comes to mind. So Rehabber gets leads on his website. And of course, like a wholesaler, he's got to buy it. Rightfully, he's got to have the room. So he gets a lead not too far from us. And we keep in touch with these guys now because this happens all the time, to your point. He gets a lead. It was on the market for like 19. She couldn't sell it. She's moving to Virginia. She's got to move. She has good credit. It wasn't a stress situation. She just couldn't sell it. So she contacts them and they go, Chris, I can't do anything with this. She owes what it's worth. She was like 310. Right. So by the time, so he said, I can't do anything. Can you guys do something with this? Now, we created in 4.5 years over 100,000 in 3 paydays on that deal that they were going to throw in the basket. Now that got them excited. So they're like in our system now learning it. But if you're a wholesaler or a flipper and you don't want to learn it, okay, there are people that are certified by us, Creative Financing Real Estate Association. We accredit and we certify people. Send it to them. They'll get it done. They'll give you a referral if you don't want to go through the learning curve. But there's an example, a real example of, I see zero profit in it. Let me see if I can do it creatively.
Yeah, no, like I said, in creative, I feel like it's been much more of a hot topic. Like I said, since COVID, because we've had such volatility in the debt market. People maybe like that, to your point, they're underwater. Maybe they bought it at the top of the market and okay, well, I just don't have any equity. I guess there's just no solutions there. I'm gonna have to come out of pocket, even though I can't afford that. Could do short sale or whatever. And it's like, hey, then we might have some options for you.
Yeah, so, for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, I love that you have your business as a family business. Tell me about that. I work with my wife and I've got young kids, so they're not quite working in the business yet, but how's that been? I love that you've made it that way.
It was organic. People say, how'd you piece that together? Because it seems to fit well. It was organic. I started picking up steam in the fall of 14 after coming out of the crash, and I was literally overwhelmed by the buyer side. My son was an agent, and I said, can you just come in part-time and do some of the stuff online to get them sold? I don't know how to do it. So he did that. Then he became full-time. And then Zach and Kayla around December of 15, they were in the hospitality, the bartending, personal training in this area, cool money, but zero lifestyle. You're in the bar till 2 or 3 in the morning. You walk home with a water cash, but you're exhausted the next day. So they came to me and said, can we do something? I said, yeah, there's no salary. We eat what we kill. We're going to do deals. So that was the start of it. It was literally the 4 of us. And then that morphed into the coaching company, not just the deals. And here we are today. Now my daughter's no longer here with us because we have grandkids and she's busy, but Zach is a major part of the company, as is Nick.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. It's not easy to do for some people, but you obviously found a way to do it organically. And that's awesome. That's one of those things where you're leaving an inheritance, let's say, beyond the money. You taught them how to fish versus, okay, well, here's the fish. And I feel like,
big time. From an independent standpoint, it's like, Phil, big time. To be honest with you, they run it. I'm here. I'm always on in my brain, but I'm here 3 days a week. So they're running. Zach loves running, building the teams. Nick loves the disposition side, helping all the students with getting these sold. And so I'm in doing things like this and spreading the word, but those guys run it.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Again, they're modeling after you. And I work with a lot of families. I'm pretty involved with their church. And this is something we talk about quite frequently is, okay, it's legacy and generational impact. And that's one of those things. It's like, okay, hey, guess what? Kids are going to model, they're mirrors. They're going to model whatever it is that they're seeing from you. If you want to have good kids and have them have success, guess what? You're going to make some good choices. And sometimes that's not easy. They're always watching.
Yeah. How old are your kids?
Always watching.
How old?
I have a 12-year-old and a 7-year-old.
Oh, that's 12-year-old's close. I think Nick was doing, my wife just found out about this recently, was horrified, but at 18, He was doing door knocking for pre-foreclosures in not so great areas. And my wife says now, when she found out, you let him go to those areas, but he learned.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. No, my oldest, she's been to some of the meetups and things that we'll do on occasion. So she's around it, but, or she'll go visit. Oh, we're setting up a short-term rental in a different market or something like that. So it's like, okay, they've been along for the process, but they're not door knocking at this point. So, yeah. Although I will say they probably in some of the different areas, the better areas, they probably have better success than I did when I was doing it. Very cool. Tell me a little bit more about your 3 payday system. I love the idea that like that, it's not just such a transactional business, because I feel like that's a struggle for a lot of people. I often tell people, it's like, look, I want to work for every dollar once, and after that, I want it to go work for me. Tell me a little bit about how we can do more than one, just one paycheck, one payday. Like, what have you come up with?
Yeah, I'll explain what they mean. Before I say that, to your point, I think it's important if someone's listening we literally specialize in this for the last 12 years, creating a plan with definitive plan with predictability and fun and profitability in it, but that they can get out of their JOB in 2 years, some 18 months, some a little bit longer. And here's how it works. So we can do any asset class. You and I talked about buying any asset class, but let's just talk how we exit single families. We exit single families with primarily rent to own. So that looks like a buyer out there, especially in today's economy, that has had great income, just left to start their own business, or got let go. We have 2 Microsoft people in our community now who got nice severance packages for a year. So they have income, they have credit, but guess what? The second they leave that JOB, they're not bankable. Yep. They're not bankable at all. So let's talk about how the 3 paydays work. They come in, they're a buyer, let's say. They come in to our property for rent own, they have a down payment, they put that down. So it's depending on the price range, 7 to 10%. Then once they're in that property, they're paying us some kind of a monthly amount, and that is higher than I'm paying on the property or to the owner, depending if it's the bank or if it's the owner directly. And then the third payday is pretty cool, because the third payday is all of the principal pay down that is accrued, so to speak, during the deal, that equates on our side of the ledger. So that even though we're not paying it, it's being paid by the tenant buyer, we call them, but that all accrues to us. Let me give you some metrics to this. So our average 3 paydays on a conservative level, like in my market, which is not high end, is going to be somewhere between 45,000 and 350,000. That's right across the country, actually, in our community per deal. So if someone goes out, we just had some training we ended today, and someone goes out and does 5 of these deals and they amass 500 grand, some of that now, some of that monthly, some of that down the road, that's a game changer for most, and most can leave their JOB with that. So they're very lucrative. So again, the 3 paydays would be today, monthly, and long term. That, by the way, if you and I were going to open pick a business in a restaurant tomorrow, that'd be a cool business model. Any entrepreneur would go, yeah, cash now, cash monthly, cash long. So that's what it does.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And I think that's a foreign concept, like totally foreign concept for the vast majority of people in the business. It's like, okay, cool. I understand. Hey, I'm going to get a payday long term. I can think of deals that we do that have done like that. Cash in the short term. Sure, for sure. You're thinking fix and flip, you're thinking wholesale. Okay, I have turned around and gotten a paycheck in 5 days, wholesaling a deal.
Yep.
And then the same thing too, medium term, like, all right, hey, I'm going to work for $100 for a long-term rental or something over the next 20 years. Okay, cool. Each one of those just individually, but most people are not doing, okay, hey, I'm going to get all 3 of those.
It's a game changer. Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
And quality versus quantity. I shouldn't have said that, because that negates the quantity. No, lots of quantity, but
you want both. No, I want more of that.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. What are you guys seeing? I know you're working more over the business, let's say, and like running more of the day-to-day operations. At this point, what do you see on the horizon? We've got a lot of disruption going on right now, a lot of technology. People are really spooked. I feel like AI and job taking and all that kind of stuff. Where do you see our market heading? I know you touched on it a little briefly, and I agree. I think it's a great time to buy now, because these markets don't last forever. It's all cyclical. Where do you see us heading in the next handful of years, or maybe opportunities?
A couple more stats to add to what we talked about. So the average age right now, this is crazy. I didn't realize the eye opener. The average age of the home buyers right now is way up towards 40. So that means the people in their 30s and late 20s, a lot of them are not interested in that apartment where they got to traipse up and down stairs and all that, the older style apartment. So that's really feeding our model to exit with the rent own. They want something that they can call their home. They're just not ready to buy it yet. Also, I mentioned the stat about the free and clear properties. The reason I said that, I should have said why I brought it up. And this is an important stat. If 40% of the homes in the United States are free and clear, that means you can structure, first of all, most of them are off market. And we structure owner financing with them, but we do principal only payments. So talk about a recession hedge. If I have a 10-year term on your house and I'm paying you monthly and you get top dollar, so you're happy, but every single payment I make that's being paid by someone I have in the house is principal pay down, I just hedge big time for any change in market. So that's going on. That's a nice big opportunity there. You also have, for the first time in a long time, I lived through '08. In '08, there was no equity. Houses are upside down. It was bad. So people go, oh, it's like '08. No, it's not. There's more equity in homes now, represented by that 40% in other homes that have little debt, than a lot of the past decades. A lot of equity sitting there in the properties. That means creative, again, can be structured. So I do think we're on, look, I don't know. I wouldn't be here if I knew the answer. Neither would you. But I think we're on a flat heading up. And I think in 28, 29, if you're not buying now, you're gonna say I should have. No question. There's a gentleman I had on my podcast about a month ago and talk about a static, what's the best word? And he's into stats and metrics. Okay. And he just rattled off all statistics on why this is a phenomenal market. I would encourage you to listen to it. Everyone listening right now, it's the Smart Real Estate Coach podcast, because I don't usually have people like that on there. And it's almost like I couldn't interview him. You're a host, you understand this, because there's no conversation there. I want to give you all these stats. I said, run it. Go ahead, give us all the stats. And it's very interesting. So it'd be worth everybody taking a peek at that. And I agree with everything he said. Side note.
Yeah. And sometimes we need help with that too, like interpreting the data, like making it palatable. Because it's like, okay, like it's easy to throw out all the statistics and not really see, let's say, the opportunity in that. So it's like, okay, like, hey, this comes back to teamwork too. It's like, all right, hey, you know what? You're going to be great at doing something. Partner with somebody else who's great at doing what they do. Yeah. And that creates new opportunities. And some of that to me, that comes back to mindset. And I know that's something you talk about as well. What are kind of some of the mindsets that you've seen, let's say, through, let's say, your interviews over the years or conversations or really working with individual investors or homeowners? Do you see any like common mindsets or stumbling blocks for people?
I think mindset is the biggest stumbling block. Good question, because we just got done a 2-day training, and in the hot seats, I can tell you most of the blockages were related to mindset. I just brought on to our community for this very reason, to your question, another mindset coach, Yvonne Trost. She has a great podcast. I think it's called Limitless You or Limitless You. I will tell you that if you can get yourself, and if you have your community in the mindset mode growing, you will strip a lot of the blockages. Why do I say that? Because I can teach you guys, if you go on YouTube, you can see 600 or 700 of our deals. We whiteboard them. You can go see them over and over. So from a skill set wise, I can teach you that in the course of a week. You go, got the 3 paydays. I understand how it works. The problem is we all, like I did, bring baggage to the table. Yep. So for me, it was like a beat up in the crash. And I stuck my head in the sand for 4 years. Other people go through a divorce or whatever it is, and they're stuck in the sand for that long. And it's all mindset, 100% confidence, self-doubt, all those things we talked about in this training. It's fresh in my brain. So we bring in outsiders, not just ourselves, to help our students with that. Why does someone come in our community and do a deal in 30 days, which is great, but why does someone else come in, same material we teach, and they take a year, let's say? Some of it, life baggage, has been death, divorce, all that. But a lot of that then sparks the mindset. And so when people go, how quick can I do a deal? I have no idea. I don't know you, because you don't know what baggage they bring. If you talk to me in '08, I would have told you how bad the market was. I blame myself. My ego is shit. That's all mindset. That's all it was. So long answer, but you got the word association and proximity comes to mind, Steve, because if you get around that, it's very important, because when you're not around someone that can help you mindset wise, 90 to 100% of the stuff that you're letting in your brain every day is just crap. And you got to offset that somehow. So super long answer. I hope I nailed the question.
No, yeah, I appreciate that. And I think it's huge. That's a big part of even my story. When I first started I was wholesaling real estate. It's like, okay, you come to me as an investor, Chris, and you tell me, Steve, I want to build a portfolio of 25 single family homes to do long-term rental. Okay, perfect. Let's go do it. I'm going to go find you those 25 houses, get them to you 30, 40, 50 cents on the dollar. But I saw that as for them and not for me. And so it's like, okay, this is something I can do for you. But my mindset said, hey, my family was a renter. We didn't have money growing up. That's for you. That's not for me. I didn't see myself as an owner. I didn't see myself as an investor. So it took me a long time to come around to even be able to buy a house, like a primary residence. So I 100% agree with you. It's right here. This is the biggest stumbling block for you as an investor, as an entrepreneur, as somebody who's successful. And we talked about earlier, let's say your kids are not going to have any challenge. They'll have their own challenges, but being able to do creative deals, being able to cash flow, being able to be successful is not going to be one of them. Because guess what? They see dad doing it. So like I said, a lot of it is just, hey, we're stuck in our own mind, just trying to repeat what we saw, let's say mom and dad did. or other family members. So this is the value of community. This is the value around being around people like Chris and their community to say, hey, you know what? We're doing deals. You can do a deal too. It's possible.
But the good news is, Steve, if we're the problem, we know we are. You went like that. It's in their head. Okay, here's the good news. If we're the problem, we're also what? The solution.
The solution. You got it.
So that's the good news. We just got to work on it. It's easier said than done.
Yeah. And this is why it's so valuable, I think, I'll preach this to high heaven. Surround yourself with people who are going where you want to go, who want to see you succeed. That's so important, especially if people just starting out. Maybe you're the first one trying to do real estate in your family and nobody's ever done it. You're going to get a bunch of crabs in the bucket kind of mentality. Hey, that's not going to work. Don't do it. Why are you doing that? That's so risky. Just stay at your W-2. Guys, I can tell you, just staying in solely your W-2, you're in much more of a precarious position, especially with all of this disruption happening now, that you're way more vulnerable than somebody who's taking steps to go, all right, I'm going to add more tools to my tool belt. I'm going to go learn how to make more money to bring more value to the marketplace. But you got to be around people who are doing that. Around a community like Chris's community.
You brought up AI, Steve. It's, I think, statistically one of the biggest failures right now for people losing their job. And you also brought up a good point. Your job, let me tell you, if you listen and you have a job, your job is your risk. It's not real estate, starting your own business, it's your job. And that's something you might want to really pay attention to because there's just no reason. I'll tell you, I always like giving you real stories. I've been screaming about this. I said, oh, your job's your risk. And I have a guy that's in one of my higher level programs. He works with me. And he said, Chris, you know how you said that? I heard on your podcast. I heard you say it a lot. I go, yeah. He goes, I just let go. 6,000 of us were let go earlier than he wanted to be let go. He was thinking on getting out of there, but he got let go. And so it's not real till it is real with you. And so I'd say be proactive and know that in real estate, AI is helping. AI is not pushing anyone out. AI is going to help you explode faster than I could, faster than Steve could, faster than anyone could. So now's the time to get around that in proximity. Look, if you want to change your results, get in a different room. Yeah. Best way of saying it, get in a different room. That's what we offer, just different proximity.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, I 100% agree. So guys, now is the time. Do not wait until just like that, like how Chris said, okay, hey, you have until you're let go. And now you're forced to build yourself. You've got a runway right now. Take advantage of that runway. Take advantage of the W-2 income while you got it, or you're very bankable, or you're very lendable. There's a lot of stuff that you can do to future-proof yourself, better your position now. Now we have a great window. I really want to stress that. So, well, as we wind down a little bit here, Chris, we usually just do a brief fire round to kind of wrap the show up. Is that something you're up for?
Whatever works. Yep.
All right. Awesome. What's a favorite book recommendation that you have? This can be anything too. This can be your own books. This could be mindset. This can be strategy. Do you have some go-to recommendations that you have?
I like, there's a lot of books that I like that taught not just real estate, not just business, but kind of everything. And Shoe Dog comes to mind. The Nike story. If you haven't gone through that, the audio or the written book is amazing. A lot of lessons in there.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Next question. What do you consider your superpower to be?
At this stage, to give the people, but my community, so I'm referring to, hope and courage, because with that, we can change the mindset and then we can change everything. The deal comes.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, that's really good. All right. And you have this with I would imagine with your kids, but if you could go back, you got a time machine, you go back, visit 20-year-old Chris, what advice would you have for him?
The biggest one would be this, and I think everybody can relate to what I call the shiny object syndrome. So the biggest advice would be find someone that is doing what you want to do, then put the blinders on for at least 3 to 7 years, especially as a 20-year-old, I would say 7 years. And don't look left, don't look right, just go at it. Because when you do that, you can't screw up. It's just that at 20, I was probably chasing the shiny object.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. This is the sage advice that we learn over the years that we never think that you need when you're younger. Yeah, no, that's definitely very good. And a lot can happen in a very short period of time, guys. Like that. That's the encouraging thing. If you were to put your head down and just focus, so much can happen. I don't even care how old you are. So much can change in a very short period of time. It really can. All right. Then the last question for the busy working professional, somebody trying to work towards financial freedom, especially today, what advice would you have for them?
Very similar. Find someone. When I said find someone earlier, I'm going to define it a little better here. Find someone that left their job. We've got them around, but make sure that someone is someone you can relate to morally too and ethically. Meaning, there are people you and I know that have screwed up marriages, kids, everything else to get to point B from A to B. That's for you. That's for you, but not for me. I want the whole picture. So when I say find someone, don't just find someone that has the package that you can relate to. If it's family or whatever it is for you. And then put the blinders on for 3 to 7 years.
All right. And then Chris, if our audience wants to reach out to you, they want to connect with you, they want to learn more about, what's the best way for them to do that?
I have a free gift. We actually revised it. So it's really, I just got blueprint. What works in today's market? Because everyone's asking, what works in 2026? Just go to 3Paydays books. That's the number 3paydaysbooks.com/cashflow. And we'll send it out for free. And it's not one of those free offers where you got to put in shipping. We just address. That's it. You won't pay 10 cents. We're going to ship it out at our cost.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Chris. And then if they want to go online, they want to just go 3Paydays.
Yeah, 3paydaysbooks.com. And then they can go to smartrealestatecoach.com. That's the main site. You can get everywhere from there.
Awesome. Awesome. Hey, Chris, I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to hop on with us and the listeners. Thank you so much. We'll have to circle back with you in the future and see what you're working on. Thank you much. Aloha. All right. Great conversation with Chris Prefontaine. Always love and enjoy talking to people who have been through the market, who have different market cycles, different experience, different life experience. Chris definitely has that in spades. He hits on mindset, of course, being a huge one, finding ways to maximize working in your W-2 before you're either forced out of your W-2 or you choose to leave your W-2. There's things that I wish that I would have known before I left. Hey, take advantage of loans, take advantage of being able to be lendable, bankable before you step away. I just know that as a struggle. And then, of course, if you're working in any other facet in the business in real estate, whether it be transactional, retail side, whether you're wholesaling, or you're fix and flip, hey, we want to focus on, there's ways that you can make income, that you can earn income, not just off of that one paycheck, not just be limited to that there are opportunities all around in order to make stuff happen. So yeah, but go back and listen to the episode. I highly encourage you guys to do that. And of course, go check him out as well. But guys, if you're interested in investing with us, you can go to tricityequity.com to learn more. I'd love to connect with you personally as well. So make sure you're reaching out. You can get a hold of me on social media, Instagram at SGFieros. You can go to tricityequity.com. That's our main site. You can see some of the previous deals that we've done, set up a call there. And then, of course, we have our monthly meetup here in Honolulu. So if you are local, you're wanting to come out and network, come join us. We'd love to have you join the community, meet you in person, put a face to the name. It really is very powerful to be around people who are like-minded and want to see you succeed along with themselves as well. It's a great opportunity to do that. But we'd appreciate, subscribe, and share the episode, of course, and we'll see you on the next one. Aloha.